Okay, now abuse on dominant position, right? As I have already told you that it's completely prohibited. So section 4 says that if you enjoy a dominant position and if you abuse it, then it's going to be prohibited and you're not allowed to do so. The question is, what is dominant position? What is called abuse? And thereafter, how it's going to be inquired, or if it is done, then what is going to be the punishment which will be awarded, and like things, right? So I'll start with actually a real life example. Have you ever heard of MMT? Well, you might have heard of OYO. Now, what is MMT? It's Make My Trip. Although the case that I'm talking about is related to OYO also, there are a lot of aspects, but we will understand the aspect that is related to our concept. Okay, so we are actually discussing the alleged contravention of section 4. That means there is an allegation in MMT that you have abused your dominant position. Okay, this is the alleged contravention and this is what we're discussing. The first thing is MMT enjoying a dominant position? Well, we need to look at a lot of factors to identify this. What factors do we need to look in? Wait. These are the factors. Just look at the screen. You don't need to find out where it is. I will teach you that. Okay. Market share of the enterprise. Size and resources of the enterprise. So when we want to determine whether somebody is enjoying the dominant position or not, we need to look at certain factors. Now you tell me, by your practical experience or by your surroundings, whatever you have seen and known, if you're going to a new place and you have absolutely no idea about the accommodation over there, about the hotels that might be available, forget the flights. That is something that can be done from the official website also. Forget the 7-star, 5-star hotels also. But in general, if you want to book an accommodation at a new city somewhere, what will you do? Majority of the people, what they do is open MMT, Make My Trip. There you go, there you see the rating, there you see what is recommended by MMT, and you book it, right? At least you have some sort of trust, right? So is MMT enjoying a good market share in this particular service sector? Service, product, whatever you call, this is a service sector basically, right? So this is online travel booking, OTA, right? Now in this we have a lot of websites, but this is enjoying a very good market share. It has good resources, right? Its size is big in comparison to its competitors, right? So there are a lot of factors listed over here that contribute to establishing that yes, MMT is enjoying a dominant position. If I take you through the definition and not just the factors, well, dominant position means a position of strength. Okay, it means a position of strength which actually let you operate independently of competitive forces which are prevailing in the market. See, what happens is, if you take the example of any shop, right? There are 20 shops in this market and there is one shop actually which let's say one shop or two shop which hardly sell one or two product in a day. Now if they are reducing their prices, they are offering sale, it doesn't matter. They have a footfall or a customer base of just 1 to 2 customers. Now if the biggest shop over here actually puts on a sale and is giving the products at discounted prices, then the other competitors will be affected. But this particular firm or enterprise, because enjoying such a position of strength, it is operating independently and is not affected by the forces of its competitors and like things, right? Because it is enjoying a position of strength, it enables it to affect its competitors. So its acts are actually affecting the competitors. If I take an action and immediately shoot up the prices, it is going to affect the consumers. So what is dominant position? It means I have a position of strength. Come on, repeat with me. It means I have a position of strength and it allows me to operate independently of the competitive forces or affect my competitors, affect my consumers, right? That means I am enjoying a dominant position. Now, the dominant position is not the same everywhere. It's not the same everywhere. Today, if I am teaching you, I may be enjoying a dominant position in this particular field, right? But supposedly I go on and teach some law students or somewhere else. Well, maybe I'm not enjoying a dominant position in that particular field, right? So the dominant position could differ from market to market. Now, how do we know that this is one market and this is the other market? We have to identify the relevant market. Relevant market to check that, okay, this is the market in which we are checking that there is dominant position or not. This is the relevant market which we are checking. Okay. Now, this relevant market, how do we identify? This relevant market is identified on the basis of two different relevant markets: relevant product market and relevant geographic market. Relevant product market and relevant geographic market. Relevant product market is what? It comprises of all the products which are substitutable. All the products which are substitutable means what, ma'am? Supposedly, I talk about rice. Okay. Now, there could be two qualities of rice in general. One is the quality of rice which comes at around 40-50 per kg, and then there is other which comes at 150 rupees per kg. Let's take a fictitious hypothetical example, please. Now, we can say that the lower quality rice has one separate market. Okay, and the higher quality rice has one separate market, right? So that is, although rice is the same, right? Rice is not exactly the same in the quality, but rice, the product rice is the same, but we cannot say that it's one market, right? So in the lower quality rice or in the premium segment, there might be a brand which is enjoying a dominant position, right? And rice is more in demand in the southern areas than in the northern India, right? So based on everything and evaluation and factors about which we'll read later, there is a relevant market which is determined. Okay, now in that relevant market, it is checked that whether an enterprise is enjoying a position of strength or not. If yes, then it is enjoying a dominant position. Okay, now once it is established that, okay, this is the relevant market, this enterprise is enjoying a dominant position in this relevant market, the next step is to check if there is abuse or not, because dominant position is not bad. Dominant position is not illegal. Of course, it is allowed, it can be there, and it is something that you achieve for over the years, so that cannot be curbed down, right? Enjoying dominant position is completely fine. What is not fine is abuse of dominance. Now, how do you know whether there is an abuse of dominance or not? How do you know whether there's an abuse of dominance or not? So there are 4 cases given over here. I will take you back to the example from which we originated, right? So alleged contravention of section 4 MMT, right? So we get to know that, okay, we are talking about a market of services which offer or a market which is offering online travel or bookings. Let's say simple, like we have Clear Trip, like we have MMT, right? So such online travel services and bookings, right? So this is the service that this MMT is offering. And in this, we see that, okay, what are the market players? Geographically, we don't have to see anywhere over here, because this is something which is done online, right? So the geographical territory or the boundary is irrelevant over here. So we look at that market, product market or service market, and in that we see that yes, MMT is enjoying the dominant position because it is able to operate independently of its competitors or affect its competitors or consumers by doing anything, right? So it's enjoying a position of dominance. Clear. Now, what it did, let's say there is a hotel in Coorg. Let's say, for example, Coorg is a hill station. Okay. Now, this particular hotel is largely built, but nobody knows of it, right? And as a tourist, you would never know what is in Coorg, right? You only can search it online, right? Once you reach there, hotel is something that we book in advance. The rest of the things we can explore even after going to a certain place. But this is accommodation is the basic necessity, and you need to pre-book, right? So nobody knows of it. No matter how much you advertise, where will you advertise? There are people from all over India who are coming, right? So you got to come at MMT just to establish that presence, because MMT is enjoying its dominant position in this particular sector. So the hotel approached MMT, and MMT said, okay, do the listing. We want hotels, our buyers, our customers that we're serving to, they want hotels in Coorg, so go ahead. But then they place a condition. What is the condition? Condition is that since your hotel room price, the basic price is 2,500, you cannot at any other portal or on even your own website sell or book your room at a cost below 25. Ma'am, this condition is perfectly fine. I mean, if there is price similarity in all the portals, there's nothing better than that, right? So fine. What is the unfair condition that they're imposing? I don't think there is any abuse on this particular hotel. Fine. What they did is, they did not allow the hotel itself on its own website to give any kind of discount or to reduce the price, likewise on all other portals, but itself they were booking it at discounted prices, giving away discounts, booking it at 2,000, booking it at 2,200, and like, is it fair? That means if you want to list your particular hotel booking on our portal, what you have to do is you have to sell it at 2,500, but we can sell it at any cost. What is this? Isn't it unfair condition which is being imposed? You're creating a price parity and you're selling at your will, at your please, right? So is it not abuse? Yes, it is. So the first thing, my dear, when a party directly or indirectly, so here we are talking about MMT, imposes unfair or discriminatory condition in purchase or sale of goods or service. That is what exactly MMT did. And that proves that yes, MMT has contravened the provisions of Section 4. So inquiry must be carried out. Punishment must be given to MMT. Right? Because firstly, we checked the relevant market. Secondly, we checked whether you are enjoying that dominant position or not. When we established that, yes, you're enjoying the dominant position, the third point was to check the abuse. So abuse, the very first thing. You do either of these. You do this, you do this, you do this, or you do this. Any of this is going to make or attract abuse. That is what abuse means. Fine. So where a party, directly or indirectly, imposes unfair or discriminatory condition in purchase or sale of goods, or price in purchase or sale of goods or service. That means you are charging some unfair price or predatory pricing. Unfair price is what? Maybe you are unnecessarily charging a very high price in some market, and in some market you're charging a lower price. You saw a person coming like A lot of people or a lot of street vendors, when they see foreigners coming their way, even a cup of tea suddenly becomes of 200, from 20 to 200, right? So what is this you're doing? This is some unfair price that you're charging from your customers, right? So sometimes it may so happen that you are charging some unfair price. Why unfair price? Because maybe you're enjoying the dominant position of strength. There is nobody to compete. There is nobody. So just for a price of, maybe, let's say this is a clutcher, if you all know it, right? And this particular clutcher can cost 100 rupees, 150, 200. Supposedly there is a seller who's charging 2000 for this clutcher. Well, I don't have a choice, I'll have to buy, right? But is it not abuse of dominance? Shouldn't this be protected, right, for the best interest of the consumers? Well, it should be. At the same time, this is unfair pricing. Okay, so the first thing is imposing unfair or discriminatory conditions in purchase or sale. That if you want to sell your service, if you want to purchase this, if you have to do this, you have to do that, right? Secondly is unfair pricing. Third is predatory pricing. Predatory pricing is what? Selling below cost. Why would someone sell below cost? Well, in a lot of cases, it may so happen that you want to eliminate your competitors. Again, I would give you an example. When Jio entered the telecom sector, I hope you all remember that it's free, right? So lucrative deals were there. Everyone was like, wow, now we can do this, now we can do that, and just this price, right? But it wasn't abuse of dominance. Why? Because they were not enjoying a position of strength in that particular market. Yes or no? So that could not be treated as abuse of dominance. But what they were doing is somehow selling below cost. Now, if you are enjoying a position of strength, right, and you suddenly start selling something below cost, you can endure that because you have such a wide enterprise, right? You can suffer some losses also. You bought this particular, or you bought a particular mobile phone, let's say, for example, for, what should I say? For, let's say, 50,000. So 50,000 is the cost of this particular mobile that you got for. Now, everyone in the market is selling the same for 70,000, let's say. So, everyone is selling it for 70,000 and you are enjoying a position of dominance in this particular market. So, 90% customers are yours only and 10% go here and there, right? So, you have a good market share. Okay. Now, suddenly what you did is you started selling this particular mobile phone for 40,000. Now, what will happen? You can sell it for 40,000 and now everyone will come and take it from you only. What happened to the other competitors? They will be like, we cannot sell it for 40,000. We cannot give it for 40,000. We are buying hardly 10 quantity and already our cost is somewhere 60,000 or 65,000. How can we sell it at 40,000? We cannot even survive in the market. And we have no customer. There is no profit. So slowly and gradually, they will be out of the market. Right? Try to understand the intent, my dear. When I give you so many examples, all the examples do not fit in all the situations. You have to always try to understand the intent and the meaning of the topic that I'm explaining. Okay? Now, what happened? This particular enterprise sold below cost to eliminate its competitors, and that is what exactly is predatory pricing. Predatory pricing. So if you want, you can write over here. Otherwise, it's actually written. The last point is predatory pricing only, and predatory pricing means the sale of goods or provision of service at a price which is below the cost with a view to reduce competition or eliminate the competitors, right? So this is basically the last point also. So the first point that we have read is where a party imposes unfair or discriminatory conditions or unfair pricing. Fine. Second one, where a party indulges in practice resulting in denial of market access. You are doing some things which is actually denying market access to others. What you can do? Predatory pricing also. Maybe predatory pricing can also deny. This is a wider topic, and a lot of things can be included over here. If have you all heard of lobbying? You might have heard a lot of politics. You might be exposed to a lot of political news and all, right? Adani and Ambani or whatever it is, right? So interacting with government, doing this, doing that, right? So if they are entering into a particular market, they also can collaborate with the government directly, indirectly, and modify the regulations. So if something like this is identified, which is actually resulting in denial of market access to the other person, it is also abuse of dominance. Okay. Next is using your dominant position in one market to enter into other market. Right. What is dominant position? It's written again over here. So please strike this off. You can simply strike this off because it is already written. Otherwise, you'll be like, oh my God, it is a very small topic. Okay. So we are unnecessarily not going to make it big. Using its dominant position in one market to enter into another market. Now, supposedly, Reliance was already enjoying a position of strength, let's say, in petrol sector, right? So it has a lot of petrol pumps. So now every time when you go and refill your tank, because it is everywhere, right? So you go and refill your tank. Let's say I'm again taking a fictitious example. Okay. So every time you go and refill a tank, they give you a SIM. Okay. They tell you you must have the SIM, you must take the SIM, then only you can take petrol. Now, if they're putting in such a condition, let's say, what they're doing is, because they're dominant in one particular market, they are trying to enter into another market. Now everybody will have to take that SIM. Like, or let me take a very more realistic example. This sounds something absurd, right? Let me take a realistic example. Let's say we are talking about HP. Now, HP printers are very much in demand and it's somehow dominating the entire printer market, right? Now, if you go and you want to buy a printer, they force you that you have to take our paper also. That A4 size paper, that printing paper normally that comes. Now we have different brands, JK, Canon. We have JK paper is a very common brand, right? So it is enjoying a position of dominance in that paper market. But here, you're putting in a condition that this you have to purchase 4 bundles of paper. Now it's using its dominant position in printer market to enter into paper market. So this is also abuse of dominance. If you want to enter into a paper market, don't put in this condition. Don't do such things, right? Don't use your dominance in this market to enter into the other market. You bring in paper, you go through the channel, like you compete with the persons who are actually in that paper market, right? So you bring in innovation, you bring in technology, you offer the services, you do that way. That is what is allowed. Okay, so this is also abuse of dominance. So we have 4 points which actually eventually turns out to be abuse of dominance, right? Okay. Fine. Okay, now we have certain definitions that we haven't done. I will just take you through. Relevant market, it means the market which may be determined by the commission with reference to the relevant product market or relevant geographic market or both. Relevant geographic market, it is a market which comprising the area in which conditions of competition for supply of goods are distinctly homogeneous. Homogeneous means same and can be distinguished from conditions prevailing in other neighboring areas, right? So supposedly if we are dividing this particular territory, that this is one geographic market and this is other geographic market, right? Why there are other geographic markets? Because maybe the state has changed, So there are different laws, there is more transportation cost, right? Or maybe the people in that area prefer something else, so they have different preferences, right? So based on that, we'll look at the factors, then we'll have a better clarity. Relevant product market, a market comprising all those products which are regarded as interchangeable. I already told you this, right? What is price? Price means every valuable consideration, whatever you are paying, directly, indirectly, or deferred. That means you have promised to pay. You'll be paying in future. And includes any consideration which in effect relates to the sale of goods or the performance of any services. So if you're buying some goods, whatever you're paying. If you are taking any service, whatever you're paying, that is the price. This is definition is not at all important. Person, I've already told you, notification not important. Simply means member not important. Goods. What do you mean by goods? When we are talking about goods, products which are manufactured, processed, mined, debentures, stocks, shares after allotment, they're all covered in the definition of goods. In relation to goods supplied, distributed, or controlled in India, goods which are imported to India, that is also covered. So goods as defined in Sale of Goods Act and includes the following. Fine. Enterprise, I've already told you. Consumer also, in a way, I've already told you the definition. What is it? Person. Any person who buys the goods for consideration. Now, this particular consideration may be paid in past, may be promised, or it has paid like I have given you 1 lakh advance, 1 lakh is yet to be paid, or I have taken it on a loan basis or EMI, right? So I'll be paying it in installments. So it is some deferred payment. It doesn't matter. So a person who buys for a consideration, that consideration could be anyways, and includes any user of such goods. Supposedly, I bought the goods for my son. So he's also a consumer and I am also a consumer. Okay? I'm also a consumer. Now, whether such purchase of goods is for resale or for any commercial purpose or personal use. So I could buy it for reselling it. I could buy it to use in my business. I could buy it for personal use. It doesn't matter. I will be a consumer. The same goes for any person who hires or avails of any service for a consideration, includes any beneficiary of such services, whether such hiring is for any commercial purpose or for any personal use. So this is what consumer means, right? Now, acquisition, I'll tell you when we discuss about combination, and then cartel. Cartel, although I have already explained you the meaning, let's review the definition also at once. What is cartel? Cartel we have discussed in anti-competitive agreements. So anti-competitive agreements, basically when we read also about horizontal agreements, we said agreements which are entered into with their competitors, including cartels. Cartels is what? Cartel is a group. It is a group. Group of what? Group of people who producers, sellers, distributor, right? All of these. Anyone who's involved in the production chain, right? So they are coming together. They're forming a group. They're forming an association. Why? Because they're agreeing to something. Agreeing to what? Agreeing to something which is anti-competitive. So cartels are anti-competitive. Okay. You are agreeing to limit, control, or attempt to control production, distribution, sale, or price. You limit this, you control this, or even when you make an attempt to control. What? Distribution, sale, price, trade. Trade is what? Purchase and sale only. Fine. Of goods or of services. I did not write production. Production is very important. So if you if all the producers are forming a group and trying to control the production, it is what? It is forming a cartel. If you're trying, if the distributors are coming together and they're limiting distribution or controlling or making an attempt to control, it is a cartel, right? So cartels are anti-competitive in nature. Cartelization is something which is not permitted, which is not permitted. If you form a group just to control the price, that we all are going to fix a particular price and we will provide at this particular price only, it is also cartelization. It is also forming of cartels, right? When we say we are bid rigging, right? We are disturbing the whole process of bids by submitting identical bids. What is that we are doing? It is actually cartelization also. So by forming cartel, we have done this, right? Because we have formed an association, we have come together, and we are trying to control the price of a particular product or the provision of services, whatever it be. Okay, so I hope the definitions are clear and the meaning of abuse of dominant position is also clear. Again, I would say that it is, the dominant position is not bad. What is bad is abuse of dominant position. Okay, so if you put any unnecessary conditions, anything irrelevant, unfair conditions, or you're using your dominant position to enter into the market, right? Predatory pricing, everything, that is all abuse of dominant position. There are certain factors which we consider when we are inquiring into section 4 or dominance position, right? The factors we'll be discussing later. Okay, there are a lot of cases where you'll be seeing that even the real estate business, there is a lot of abuse of dominance in real estate business. So if we have like we have DLF, there was a case against DLF also. So we have DLF is some entity which is enjoying a lot of dominance in the residential, delivering residential projects, right? So they were making agreements like putting unfair one-sided conditions and all that, right? So that would treat it as abuse of dominance. Okay, that was treated as abuse of dominance. Fine. Okay.